as we head back into the stadium for the final heat of this men's decathlon. And there we can see certainly the favorite, as Peter has mentioned, Kevin Mayer, the reigning world champion, the man to beat. And another young, exciting talent here for Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the reigning collegiate champion in the US, Tim Duckworth. And there's the favorite we mentioned, reigning world champion, world indoor champion from France, Kevin Mayer. Big supporting crowd here for the Frenchman. In lane 7, we see Martin Rowe from Norway. And on the outside lane, the third German in the field, and a contender for a medal, certainly Arthur Abele. Won European silver indoors in 2015, and he's also got a huge supporting crowd there with him. So quickly again, we've got Carioli in lane 2, Saluri 3, Distelberger 4, Duckworth 5, Mayer 6, Rowe 7, and Abele in 8. And Mayer and the Estonian get out the blocks very well, but Duckworth here having a fantastic race as he stays close with the world champion, but it looks like Kevin Mayer just got that on the line there, very closely followed by Tim Duckworth and Estonia's Carl Robert Saluri, I think. Mayer gets it here with 10.64 and a personal best, which is a great way to start off a decathlon, always gives you confidence. Duckworth just 1/100th of a second behind the Frenchman, closely behind him.
Well, this was a terrific start to the decathlon by Mayer. He's away from the gun very well, third from the left there, beautifully relaxed, sprinting right the way through to the line, and he beat several men who've got quicker personal best than him. Duckworth did very well, though he was a little short of his PB. Excellent start, though, for Kevin Mayer, fully justifying his status as favourite, the man who's the world champion and the Olympic silver medalist.
And you can see here, it's showing he's got a personal best going through. Abele there with 10.86.
They go into that event with Kevin Mayer in the lead, 9.42, 2 points ahead of Duckworth and Saluri. Close up. Of course, situation will change considerably as we go through the 10 events of the decathlon. We've got the leader, Marcel Weibo, lead European ranking leader, I should say, well down there, as you can see, in 23rd place. But one would hope, for his sake, that he can pick up from that. Peter Braun, 7th 2 years ago in these championships, and the under-23 champion the year before that. So still quite a youngster. And with a personal best long jump of 7.71, so one of the better men in the field. Oh, that's a good start again. That green line showing the best mark so far. And that was, well, it looked over 7.50. We can check on that in just a moment. So a decent standard here, remembering that in the long jump qualifying for the men yesterday, they were, well, there's not many got over, I think what, there were 3 over 8 meters, and 780 or so was enough. So a decent standard here. Brown the second best of the day so far. We've got the young British athlete, Tim Duckworth. Now the long jump is a great event for him. 8.03 this season. Probably the best long jumper in the field. If he can just produce one there, well, that's not what he'd have looked for, but it's a valid jump, and that's what matters. He's got the white flag and a respectable jump, but some way short of his accustomed standard that we have seen from him this season. competing, of course, in the American collegiate season, collegiate champion. Brilliant breakthrough there. And he got 7:57 after opening no jumps. Kevin Mayer, all to play for in the last round of the long jump because he's had 2 no jumps. The big favourite for the title, the world champion, the Olympic silver medalist, needs to get a valid jump in this last attempt. He's a good, consistent long jumper, but he's just into the plasticine on his previous jumps. It's a long one, a very long one, but that is one of the sensations of the championships. The red flag went up. Kevin Mayer is out of the long jump. That gives him no points, and that really scuppers any chance. He may continue, but it really scuppers any chance he has of a medal. Well, just shows what can go wrong in a multi-events. He was only just in the no jump in the previous rounds. I think he's a bigger no jump, so he really went for it. And it was a fine jump. It must have been around 770, but those precious few centimetres have cost him the chance of being the big favourite here, the gold medal.
Absolutely devastating for the Frenchman, isn't it? Look, he's crying. I would be crying. I'm close to tears. Such a fantastic competitor, such a talented athlete, but it also means it leaves so much room open for a lot of the young talented athletes coming through.
Skurianov in the long jump. This dramatic long jump, really, which has seen the elimination of both Brugger and Mayer. So that really does open this up even more than it was before. Skurianov certainly a major contender for a medal again. And, well, that green line showing around 750, so he's around that area. So he can be reasonably happy with his morning's work. Ran pretty well in the 100 meters earlier as well. Season's best in the long jump was 7:53. He's pretty good on the board, really, there, just allowing a few centimeters. And, well, improvement throughout. And he ends up with a season's best of 7:55 there. So good news for the Russian authorized neutral athlete. And there is the situation that Martin Rowe of Norway had the best jump of 7:61, a personal best, then Duckworth of Britain, Skurianov of Russia, but no points there for Mayer or Brugger. Weibo, the leader in the standings, coming in here, 11th best there, so he's got a bit of ground to make up. But 4 men with no valid jump.
And all of them, I mean, 3 out of the 4 French athletes. That's quite surprising.
That's eliminated the entire decathlete contingent.
Don't think I've ever seen that one before happen.
So there we are, those are the points. Now, Abele. Certainly a major contender now for a medal, perhaps even the gold with Mayer gone. He's a good shot putter, as you saw from that personal best. And he's a good shouter too, well over 15 meters.
And he's had a really good season in the shot put this year. He set a personal best in Ratingen off 15.93, so that's very close to his personal best there.
$15.64 for Abele, best so far. This is Juk, who we saw start off with a put over 15 meters. And that looks better. That's well over 15 meters for Juk, so a good competition for him. And in fact, this turned out to be a personal best. It was 15 meters 65 for the Belarusian. So again, he will be up there with the leading point scorers, I think, once we add that in. I think he'll move into the top 6 or 8 or so. Now, Matthias Brugger, no jumps in the long jump, but he's continuing. So let's see what he can do in the shot. Oh, that's a tremendous put. That's probably a personal best for Brugger. So he's put aside the disappointment of the long jump, which obviously cost him any chance of a medal, but no points there. But he has responded to the big occasion with a very fine effort indeed in the shot put competition. And there it is, a personal best, 15.92, personal best by half a metre for the young German.
But I think that's what a home championship does for you. Even the disappointment of having a no measure in the long jump, knowing that you have the full crowd behind you, knowing that your teammates are competing with you, it just makes sense if you're feeling good to still get these marks in and just use it as a training competition almost.
And now this is the, while that has been happening, the decathlon shot had been finishing. That magnificent put by Matthias Brugger, his personal best, was the best shot of the day, 15.92. Quite a number of men over 15 metres. That's just continuing the rest of them. Tim Duckworth, pretty good, in fact, by his lights, only 10 centimetres off his personal best, 13.61 to maintain his position. Kevin Mayer did not attempt, having gone out in the long jump. So the situation after 3 events is that Martin Rowe leads at 2.673, Arthur Abele 2.636, Saliori 2.629, Duckworth 2.596. Now the high jump's next, and he's a fine high jumper. Could be that Duckworth takes the lead after that event, in fact. So it is very close at the top as we pan down the rest. Some of those athletes, of course, like Weibo, will have a much stronger second day, so we'll see how they go. The bar in the high jump is 2.08. So Samuelsson attempting to equal his lifetime best here. We saw him clear 2.05. How will he go at this new height? Oh, yes, and he's done it. Well, he had a lifetime best, I said, of 2.08. That was indoors. And he's now raised his outdoor best by a centimetre. Once again, confirming what Phil told you earlier. A man to rise to the big occasion. The bar is at 2.17. He's already cleared an outdoor best at 2.14. 2.17 for the young Briton. Oh, yes.
What a magnificent jump.
Yeah, well over, wasn't he, Phil?
Huge.
And that equals his indoor personal best. That is some serious jumping here from the young Briton. Trains at the University of Kentucky, where the likes, of course, of Sydney McLaughlin, Kendra Harrison, Omar McLeod are also all based.
And I'll tell you what is a point of interest. When you're comparing Duckworth's personal best with Daley Thompson, the former world record holder.
Now then, that's the high jump. I wonder if perhaps this it looks like. Tim Duckworth has called it a day, having cleared 2.17, 9.63 points. And that means that he's now well clear with a good event for him to come, or reasonable event anyway, the 400 metres. But of course the big shock in that event was Kevin Mayer, bottom of that lineup, did 3 no jumps, 3 big no jumps, marginal no jumps, but no points in the long jump.
And just one thing quickly.
Just before then, Tim Duckworth now has a lead of 119 points over Martin Ruhr, with Samuelsson now up into 3rd, and Abele, who's probably still the favourite, in 4th.
And the second best high jumper in that field was Niklas Kaul, who we're currently seeing here in 14th position, which doesn't say anything because he has an amazing second day. And so we're having 2 very young athletes, currently very promising performances so far of those 2.
Now we have one race, the fastest men in the decathlon. So, Duckworth, Abele, Brugger, Saliori, Kaul, Gardo and Zook. The last action of the 400 metres in this first day of their event in these 2018 European Championships. Duckworth in lane 2, leading the standings. So off they go in this final event. Strong charge by Gardo of France out there in lane 7 as well, trying to make the stagger on Zook. But then the fair-haired Saliori of Estonia has got off terrifically well, with Brugger, the German, inside him. And Duckworth has made up the stagger on Abele, and he needs every point he can get against the German, because he's got a weaker second day. So a really determined effort here by Saliori, the young Estonian, second to Duckworth in the American Collegiate Championships earlier this year, and a brilliant run. Can he hold on? Because he's been challenged on his inside. The crowd can see it's the German Brugger, but then Abele, and Duckworth is fading badly here. Well, look at the finish by Gardo coming through. Gardo takes it on the line. Wow, it's all changed. There's some very tired men there. Gardo crossed the line. Brugger in second place. 47.66, much the fastest time of the 4 races shown there on the clock. But a disappointment for young Tim Duckworth, who faded badly towards the end of the race.
We saw it early in the shot put with Brugger, who's coming there very strongly, and Gardo on the outside with an incredible finish for the Frenchman. So both of these first two won't have a say in the final standings, but with great individual performances, and it's fantastic to see them keeping going here as the decathlon progresses.
A 48.101 Abele, the clear favourite now for me in the decathlon. Gardo winning in 47.65, Brugger 47.86, and Abele 48.01 in that final event of the decathlon. So it's such that Duckworth does still hold on. 4.380, quite a big lead over Abele, but I certainly like the way he's been going. And Rua in third place with Samuelsson in fourth. Weibo, the leader on the standings, only in 15th. So this is the second race in the decathlon now lining up. That is completing the lineup because we did originally have Andrew Leutz on our start list, and of course we saw him go out in heat 1. Well, they're away, no problem, second time of asking, and a good start by Lukas of the Czech Republic, but it's pretty much line for line. Stoyanov, though, now making his presence felt, and Stoyanov coming through with Cairoli of Italy on the inside. Stoyanov it is who's going to take this, and a very strong finish there from Marcel Weibo may take him into second place. So the most experienced competitors really thriving there, and Stoyanov giving a winning time of 14.44, which equals his season's best, and Weibo giving 14.57 in second place. Well, they were the men with the greatest experience coming into this race, and indeed they went clear of the field in the end, Cairoli taking the third spot. Places don't matter. The Italian Cairoli is delighted because he's very close to his personal best and matched his season's best there.
It is worth noting that Shkurenyov actually has a personal best of 13.95, which is very fast. The question is, of course, whether he has run that in a decathlon, but there we can see he's already getting ahead of the field, 3 hurdles in, striding away there, and now is when Marcel Weibo is starting to move past the rest of the field and is going into that second spot. There, Shkurenyov hit that last hurdle pretty badly, but still very comfortable. It's tough for these youngsters. He's competed in the junior ranks up until last year, so the transition to the seniors is a lot harder for these guys, and I think that's what's showing. He's still so young, and it's just an adjustment that you have to make.
Wonderful experience there for him, as opposed to the very experienced Shkurenyov. Hasn't shown his top form this year, but he's certainly going to be competing solidly here in this event, and he's rewarded with a victory in 14.44, semi-final stage.
And just to watch out for, it's a tough day perhaps for the 200-metre men with the semis tonight.
So, into the running, and Duckworth certainly has got an excellent start, but so too Urania, the Spaniard, and now look at Abele come through. Abele the fastest in the field, and a huge roar from the crowd as Arthur Abele comes clearly to win. In second place was Urania, and he has broken 14 seconds for a season's best, and after all the trouble that Arthur Abele has had with injuries over the years, really good to see him back in the form that he has shown, well, a decade ago. And he's got a time there of 13.94. I'm sure you ought to be delighted with that, Michelle.
Absolutely. It's so good to see him back Out of the last 12 seasons, he's had to sit 6 of them out injured, so it's fantastic to see him be back on the big stage in front of a home crowd. Season's best there for him. And as you said, he is a very, very accomplished hurdler. His personal best from the European Championships in Zurich 2014, 13:55. That ranks him 5th in the decathlon over the hurdles in the all-time list. So very, very accomplished hurdler. But there you can see, doesn't get the best of starts. You can see there in lane 6, that's Jaremic of Belarus getting out strongly. But now look at the ground he makes up on Urania there in 2nd. And very similarly to Shkorenyov, hits that last hurdle pretty rough.
But they're so strong, aren't they? It almost doesn't seem to bother them.
And there are the final results.
Yes, Abele winning that final race in 13:94 from Urania 14:39 and Duckworth 14:55. 982 points for Abele. Duckworth will retain his overall lead in the event, but the gap is narrowing.
And Arthur Abele there, currently ranked in 2nd, just 18 points short.
So those are the standings, and we'll be following them with great interest throughout the day. Now the discus continuing, of course, for the decathletes, and here's the Russian authorized neutral athlete Ilya Shkoyanov. Decent discus thrower, personal best of 46.04. Just seeing Weibo throw over 45 meters. And yeah, that looks good for Shkoyanov too. That's over 45 as well, I think. So happiness all round. An excellent start for the very experienced Shkoyanov, European bronze medalist in 2012 and 2014. Indoor heptathlon champion as well. And that throws slightly ahead of Weibo's, in fact. So there it is, 45.53. The noise increases in the stadium, which is got a few more spectators in than when we started the morning. When Abele started his campaign on day 2 in the hurdles, now here he is in the discus for his 3rd and final throw. Well, it is rising on the crowd noise. I'm not sure it's any better, but it's a good consistent series. And Abele thanks the crowd. .44.20, so just a metre down on the previous best he's achieved today.
Final attempt here for Abele. He's a former gymnast and then injured himself at the age of 11. Fell 5 meters down and had to quit gymnastics, and now he's attempting to jump over nearly 5 meters there. 480 final attempt for the event leader, for Arthur Abele. Neither of his first 2 attempts came even close to clearing it, so he'll have to do better now. No, also, ooh.
Okay.
So nearly fell in the box there, but that is a little disappointing.
A little disappointing. I mean, only 1 successful clearance, but nonetheless, 460, which gains him 790 points, given that he's got brilliant javelin and 1500 meters ability. He's still well clear in the gold medal spot, and probably 460 was all he actually needed. But of course, he'll be disappointed not to have gone on and got more points in the bag.
And it's interesting because we have seen Fredrik Samuelsen struggle quite a bit as well at the previous height, who could have done better.
Tim Duckworth, though, now his first attempt at 5:10 in the pole vault. No failures so far, to his credit. And no more still, he goes on and on. Terrific. Tim Duckworth, 5:10.
It's just incredible.
Yes, but he has done 5:20 outdoors, 5:26 indoors, so it's not really a surprise, of course, but just great that he can produce his best, or near to his best, when it comes to such a major championship, because he's still pretty inexperienced, apart from on the American collegiate scene. Now, it's been several decathlons in which he's cleared 5:30, so he's got something to think about, something to remember. And once again, he's figuring in a fine competition between the best of them. .5:30, attempt number 2 for Shkoyanov. Oh, wonderful, yeah. He's adding a lot of points here to his tally in this event. And that is really splendid competition. And there's a very big crowd just round there, and he's thanking them. That gets him over the 1,000-point level. I think that's the first time we've seen over 1,000 in any event. Here, 1,004 points is what 5 meters 30 translates into on the international scoring tables. Season's best for the Russian competing as an authorized neutral athlete. His delight and the crowd's delight. Well, that's as big a tribute to the crowd as we've seen here in any event. So the decathlon pole vault resulted in Shkoyanov being the best vaulter at 5 meters 30 for 1,004 points. Gardo getting 5:20. Duckworth going back into the lead with 5 meters 10 because he earned substantially more points than Abele, who cleared 4:60 there. Yorga Irania, no height, unfortunately, so that's the end of his competition. And those are the other men who've dropped out. Cowell, second throw. Oh, it's going fast, hard and high, and that's easily the best we've seen. That's getting closer to 70. Cowell, remember, just 20 years of age. 8,205 points this year. He's taken his best to. Late replacement in the German team. And that throw, 67.72.
Here we got Arthur Abele, the German. We've seen Niklas Cowell, the young German, lead that first group of decathletes in the javelin, and now we have Abele, again a very strong javelin thrower. Comes very close to his personal best there. His personal best 71.89, and that was better than his season's best.
And that could just about seal it for the gold medal, actually. I mean, he's still got the 1,500 to come, but that was an excellent start. He may get more points, but that will possibly take him back ahead of Duckworth into the lead, because that's 68.10. 860 points, so yet to see how far the young British athlete can go, but he's got a personal best of 57 meters. So Abele there. Vitaly Shuk is having a very steady series of performances throughout the days, and Yeah, that continues, obviously, with a 65-metre-ish throw there in the javelin. Did well in the pole vault before then. And he's heading for a decent position, I think, in the decathlon overall. It was 66 meters 19, an improvement. And this is Skurianov in the javelin with his second throw of the competition. Skurianov very much in the battle for a medal in this event, with the 1500 meters to come. He brought himself into contention with magnificent pole vaulting, 5:30. Javelin not one of his best events, for the personal best just over 63 meters. But important he gets a decent one off here, because, as I say, he's in strong contention with Abele's the leader now. Skurianov following him. And that throw, well, it was an improvement, 59.13.
Have to wait.
Tim Duckworth in the javelin started with a no throw, but he's got a good one out here, I think. Well, relatively good. Of course, he's only got a personal best of 57 meters, but getting close to 55. So he's still in the top 3 in the overall competition. And we are expecting, unfortunately, him to be hit rather by 1500 meters. He's improved quite a lot of that event, but he's still outside 5 minutes. And that's nowhere near someone like Abele, who has run 4:15, or Skurianov, who's run 4:25. And he's done very, very well, but he's got some weaknesses still, which he's got to recover from. And as it is there, 54.78. At least he kept going and improving with each round. Well, there it is, the results of the javelin. Abele 68.10, Kaul 67.72, as the 2 Germans did the best javelin throws of the event. So that means that there's just one event to go, and with that one event to go, Abele has a very big lead, 102 points, 76.92 over Duckworth, with those caption results coming through far too quickly. Never mind, we know what happened at the top. Hopes of Germany very much on this man's shoulder. Matthias Brugger might have been there, but for misfortune early on.
He's actually standing right next to us, watching that race eagerly. One of the few people standing up here in the crowd, and now everybody is getting up for that final event.
Great to see the support, and of course, as we've said before, the decathlon widely supported. Many stadia around the world, the crowd would have half gone for this race. They haven't here. A mass field. And off they go in the final event of the 10 events of the decathlon, contested eagerly over 2 days. We've seen different athletes rising to the fore in their different events. Remember, the numbers show the order that they are in the competition. And it's Arthur Abele who wants to win this, not just winning the event, but winning it in style by winning the 1500 meters as well. He need only finish way back in the pack to take the gold medal, but that does not appear to be the way that he wants to go. He wants to end in glory by winning the last event, and what a way that would be to go indeed.
Niklas Kaul there currently at the back of the pack, now moving up slightly because he knows he needs to make up a few more points. Tim Duckworth right second to last there as they go through that finishing line for the first time. Look at the distance Abele has put between himself and the rest of the field. And I love that the Frenchman in second still competing despite not managing to record a mark in that long jump, because we know that decathletes don't like this distance. And now Niklas Kaul there coming up to help Abele, catching up and trying to close that gap. So we've got 2 Germans there leading the field.
We also saw a shot there of Skurianov, every chance of getting the silver medal here. He wears number 3, so we must keep an eye out for him. Dark vest, long hair, so he's a little bit further back, obviously. As you say, Kaul coming up to Abele, and both of these are the fastest 1500 meters in the lineup. Ruben Gardo, the Frenchman you've mentioned, his personal best is 4:20. So those are the class 1500 metre runners. There's Tim Duckworth. Sadly, we knew what was going to happen. He was going to go way back in the standings, and really he had little chance for a medal, even though he came into this event in second place. He's done really well for a youngster. Samuelsson now moving into fourth place overall. Skurinov is now well placed. Skurinov is in eighth place rather, at the back of the next group after the first three. So all going well for him.
And if we look there at Cal, it almost seems to me as if he's behind Abele along the lines of "I got your back" here, as they are joined by the Frenchman.
Well, they've nothing to fear in terms of medals from the Frenchman, of course, but good to see him contesting and wanting to do as well as he likes.
Almost operating as a bit of a pacer there for Abele.
Well, I'm looking further down the field and I'm keeping an eye on Jouk, and I think Cowell has a fighting chance of getting the bronze medal if he carries on like this.
Okay, the gap between Jouk and
so.
Cowell is 128 points, so that's something like 17 seconds.
Just looking at the way things are going, Cowell is running very well at this stage. 17 seconds, of course, is a lot, but Jouk is struggling without a doubt.
It's Nilsson, incidentally, not Samuelsson, the leading Swede here, who now is in fourth place, as Cowell moves past Abele and also comes up onto the shoulder of Gardo. One lap to go in the 1500 metres to conclude the decathlon. Skurinov looks clear in second place as he's eighth overall, and Phil, I know you're keeping a close check on how Jouk does.
I think it's about 17 seconds there, if I counted, maybe even more.
It's close.
Touch and go. Right, well, it doesn't look like Abele is going to win the last race, but it could well be a German victory from Cowell. But Abele is on the glory lap. He may not win this race, he may be overtaken by others chasing him, but Abele is on the way to win the gold in the decathlon. Meanwhile, up front, Ruben Gardo, who had the misfortune on the first day, but he's enjoyed himself here. He's come through and competed well in a number of events. He's not going to finish very high up in the decathlon, but he's going to win the final event, the 1500 metres. Gardo crosses the line. Cowell, has he done enough to move up even into a medal place? He's in third place. And we're looking for Abele. He's very tired. He's coming across the line. Now Abele has got the gold medal. He finishes just ahead of Skurinov, who has got the silver medal. And we're going to have to wait to check out exactly what has happened for that bronze medal.
It's very tight indeed. I'm not going to call it. We're just waiting for the official results at the moment. Well, Cowell ran 4:23.67, finishing behind Gardo with 4:21.49.
And here comes Tim Duckworth of Great Britain. And is he going to break 5 minutes for the first time? No, not quite. He's just about equalled his personal best there. And he's really done very well indeed. It's a shocking position in some ways to have led the competition for so long and then end up with medals. But Abele now overcome with emotion. What a moment for him after his long history. Standing ovation from this crowd. Well deserved.
And he gets the crown from Berlino as the European champion. And what a journey it's been for the German. 6 years of injuries out of 12. This results from him from way back in 2007. He's had it all, ruptured Achilles and everything. And now he is the European champion, overcome with emotion. 8,431 points confirmed there for the German.
Going to have the confirmation, I'm sure, of the decathlon standings.
And here it is, gold to Arthur Abele at 8,431 points, silver to Ilya Skurinov, and the bronze medal to Vitaly Jouk.